Today, Roberto Alvo, CEO of Latam Airlines, joins me on BCG's CEO Moments of Truth series. Roberto's experience as CEO began rather inauspiciously. COVID had grounded fleets, halted revenues, and threatened the very existence of the airline. Within 2 months of assuming the leadership role, Roberto had to lead Latam through Chapter 11. Roberto shares what it takes to lead through upheaval and how disruption can become an inflection point for transformation with people at the center. Roberto, welcome.
Thank you.
Latam Airlines is the largest airline in South America. You had 82 million passengers in 2024, $13 billion in revenue. What makes Latam special?
I think that what makes us special, it's on the one side probably is the size and the breadth and the network we have. We are the only airline that can bring South America within itself and also to the world. But I think that what makes really special Latam is it's its people. It's the interest of our teams in serving and the passion I see in them in trying to make sure that every time, every customer, every flight, every cargo customer has a good interaction with us.
Roberto, you were going to be CEO of Latam effective April 1st, 2020. Yet, in the months and weeks before that, COVID hit the world. And like so many other airlines, Latam had to shut down a good part of your operations. I think 96% of your activity was shut down just 2 weeks before the big day when you were going to be CEO. How did that feel?
It was, it was a very different way to start the job as I had expected. In the beginning, honestly, it felt very mechanic. I mean, we had such a big tsunami coming over us that you didn't have time to really ponder what it meant for you. How do I manage the situation very quickly, knowing that many things are completely outside of my control?
And within a relatively short time, you were confronted with the Chapter 11 question.
Yeah.
That's obviously a nightmare moment for a new CEO. It's a nightmare moment for any CEO.
We had no revenues at all, and we started burning cash like crazy. In the beginning, you don't think about filing for Chapter 11 as an option, but as the days and the weeks went through, it became really the only option. It was a very hard decision for our shareholders.
So then, within 60 days after your official start as CEO, you declared Chapter 11 and you went into that process. At what point in time did you have any mind space to think about the future?
I mean, yes, on the one side, the Chapter 11 process, which is a very different thing than what we used to do when we do a day-to-day, took a ton of time. But you know, at the end of the day, this was an opportunity because when you are there, you give yourself the opportunity to ask if we're going to survive, if we're going to get out of this, to do what? What for? What should Latam look like after this? Do we want to emerge the same way we were? Should our priorities be different? And that was, I guess, a very enlightening moment because it gave us the freedom to use the hibernation, if you want. That's how we used to call it internally, to rethink about what were the important things. But one of the things that we did not do is stop our digitalization. Actually, we doubled down on it. We said, now we have more time, more focus. The limited resources we have, we're going to put them here because when we emerge, for sure, this is going to be an important development that we can undertake. So we said we need to emerge from here with 20% lower cost. And that number didn't come from a spreadsheet or an analysis. We just put a stick on the ground there and say, let's use this moment to come out in a very different way that we came in.
Now, in that very intense period, you need to keep energy and balance for yourself as a CEO, but you also need to project energy into your organization. At the point, I think you had more than 30,000 staff already. How did you convey energy and passion into your team?
So we had to lay down 1/3 of at the time we had 42,000 people. Mm-hmm. How do you talk to people that, you know, they put masks, went to the airport, care for the few customers we had. They put their health at risk. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, you have to tell them, I'm sorry, I have to let you go. How do you manage that? What do you do with it? And there's only one way in my mind: talk to them, looking them at them into the eyes, and tell them, listen, I mean, I'm going to do as much as I can to preserve as much as I can from the operation, and you can't promise you anything, but you'll hear from me exactly what's going to happen, whether it's good news or bad news. What we did as well is that we asked the staff to decrease their salary by 50% voluntarily. The only way of asking that question is doing it yourself. So what I did is that I stopped 100% of my salary. And I said, I'm not going to earn any cents. I'm just going to work for you. And because it's important that you understand that I'm in front of you, I'm not going to get paid until I manage a way of getting you back to a normal status.
So at that moment, you had already been with Latam for decades. What changed for you as a leader when you became CEO as compared to your prior roles?
Well, you know, I used to be a numbers person, but let me tell you a story. One day, one person, this was 2021, this was in Peru. This is a woman. She told me, listen, I have mental problems. And for many times I thought about killing myself. But seeing you on those videos and the way you talk to me, and I'm sorry I get emotional today, you saved my life, because I decided that there was a reason for being here. Because you put yourself in the front line for us, and I'm never going to forget that. When you hear that, and when you understand and process what this means, in my case, it completely changed the way I understood my job. So I became a people's person, from a numbers person to a people's person. And my biggest responsibility, as I see it today, is making sure that the people that work in Latam, they wake up every morning and they say, I want to work here, not because only professionally it makes sense to me. I want to be in this company because what Latam is trying to do makes sense for me. And that is magical. That emotional engagement allows you to transform, create, grow, take opportunities, take risks in a completely different way. So today, my priorities are very simple. It's my people, my customers, my environment, my numbers, in that order. And that doesn't mean that the numbers are not important. What it means is that the numbers will happen if I do the other three things right.
Well, that's certainly a massive transformation of yourself as a leader. I mean, from a numbers guy to a people guy. I think very few people achieve that, and I think it has paid great dividends for Latam. What has happened since?
Well, I mean, we emerged from restructuring at the end of 2022. Today, we have a company that is 20% bigger than what we were in 2019. It is much more profitable. What changed is that we repurposed the company into thinking about developing our business and at the same time doing good, you see? So even though, of course, we are for profit, as any corporation is, what we're trying to do is to say, how do we help? How do we also contribute to the societies where we operate, to the people that we serve, to the employees that we have.
Roberto, thank you so much for your time. It's wonderful and so impressive to hear the story, your journey from becoming CEO in the moment of very deep crisis to now leading an incredibly successful airline.
Thank you, Christoph. It was a pleasure being here.